bought a boat and now I'm trying to stream. I just bought a boat and now I'm trying to stream. And
They bring it hard that I fall that it never work.
I just bought a boat and now I'm trying to stream. I just bought a boat and now I'm trying to stream. I just bought a boat and now I'm trying to stream.
They bring it hard that I fall that it never work. Anything you see me with, I gotta earn it first.
Down the shots like home, got the whole town lit. We
Got my
back.
mind focused on the big bucks.
This your main man right here, Anti-Coon, aka the Red Pill Crip. We in this bitch active every Tuesday, 4 to 8 p.m. We talking to the ladies and the gentlemen. We need to get these relationships back together, ladies and gentlemen. I'm telling you, we in this bitch. I am your host. I come through. I got the guests. I got the fire. I got the information. I got the stats. And my opinion is a fact. Red Pill Crip, 4 p.m. to 8 p.m. every Tuesday. Tap the fuck in. Stay black. I just bought a boat and now I'm trying to stream. I just bought a boat and now I'm trying to stream. I just bought a boat and now I'm trying to stream. And
They bring it hard that I fall that it never work.
I just bought a boat and now I'm trying to stream. I just bought a boat and now I'm trying to stream. I just bought a boat and now I'm trying to stream.
They bring it hard that I fall that it never work. Anything you see me with, I gotta earn it first. Gotta grind hard, never give up. Got my mind focused on the big bucks.
Come and see how I do this so effortlessly.
Yo, we in the building. Happy Saturday, everybody. This is your main man, Anti-Coon, aka the Red Pill Crip. We are here. This is look, let me tell y'all something. This is the big bro. This is a Kansas City Chief with no uniform on. This is the host of the owner, the CEO of the Home Court Podcast, a no limit soldier, my brother, Big Court. Welcome to the
What's
show,
going on
my
with you,
brother.
bro? What's cracking?
Man, chilling, man. How's everything going? How's your new year starting?
You know, my new year is starting blessed, bro. You know, focused, laser focused, as usual.
Facts. That's what's up. That's how I think that's like, how you say how you started, that's how you gonna, end it. So try to come in to the 2024 making some money or making the progress or being around people you love. I think it's important. You know what I'm saying?
That's right.
Absolutely. So yeah, man, we're gonna kick this off. Everybody know who you are, you know what I'm saying? You definitely the big homie in the game, but just kind of give them a rundown. Like, you know me, I want to go back to 94. I want to go back
It's all
to Down
good.
South Hustlers, you know what I'm saying? But just give them a little,
You want me to start from where you want me to start? You give me the cue.
Okay, matter of fact, let's start from you made a very important post the other day. You said you started young traveling. So let's just go back to young court. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I grew up Kansas City, Missouri. I grew up in the 40s, 4 block. I'm second generation, my family owned that house on 42nd and Chestnut since probably since the 50s. You know what I mean? My mother grew up in that house. I grew up in that house. I went to Conf on 44th and Wabash, walked to school every day. Went to Nowlin Middle, graduated from Northeast Senior. I grew up an only child. I grew up, I was raised on love, not survival. I grew up in a loving household. I grew up, I guess what they would say matrilineal, which pretty much is my mother's side. I was raised by strong women. Education was always a focal point in my household. I couldn't use like slang and ebonics. I couldn't say ain't. My grandmother used to make me read the dictionary and the encyclopedia, then quiz me on the words and the definitions. I always had a bunch of learning games. I was smart in school. I was a straight A and B student. I excelled at sports. I excelled at art. So, even though we was in the hood, man, I had a beautiful childhood, actually.
That's what's up. So you was basically a diamond in the rough.
You know what? Because I was born in the 70s, bro. So I grew up in the 80s. I'll be honest with you, all of my peers, we were in the hood, but my circle of friends in the 40s, most of us, man, our households were pretty stable. You know what I'm saying? Like we all had beautiful Christmases and birthdays, and excuse me, we didn't really, by the time that we started jumping off the porch, there were a culmination of things happening around us,
Right.
So, not only do you have the explosion of gangster rap, which is somewhat of an influence, but then you also have the crack era, the crack epidemic. You have the gang element coming in. So now our surroundings become hostile. So, where we're kids and we're just, playing with our riding bikes, doing kid shit. Now, there's just this kind of looming thing going on where you see the dope houses coming up. You see, cats getting their money. Then then the gang banging trickles down. You know what I'm saying? Because, a lot of the hustlers and the gang bangers from the West Coast, they spread out throughout the states, pretty much hustling. And so, in whatever city they landed in, whoever those guys was copping from is who they pretty much align themselves with. So now, those guys that was hustling, I have to deal with their little brothers. You know what I'm saying? So now their little brothers is looking up to them, emulating them. So now it becomes this, this aggressive behavior,
Right.
So we all started out really good kids, and at some point, you start talking about 13, 14, 15, we start smelling our piss, we start getting street poison, and that's where things start, taking a turn.
Start switching up. Yeah,
Yeah.
so were you more, because the music, so were you more street or more music in this transition? What would you say you kind of lean towards when you was outside?
What you mean specifically?
Well, I guess did you start becoming like maybe rapping more or maybe in the streets more at around that age?
Oh, well, the music started first.
Okay.
The love of music started first because
Right.
I grew up on Ice-T and WA, Eazy-E, all of that stuff. So I was blown away by that stuff. So I say probably about, what was it, about 89, 90, I started kind of writing raps in school and just playing with it or whatever. And it wasn't until Money G from Southside Posse,
Shout out to
I
Money
knew
G.
him, through my cousin Junior. So, around 13, 14, I started running with Southside Posse. And so Money G, Dank Nitty, who was called actually Mac 10 back then, and Felony 6, which was Antar, and a couple other people in Southside, they had a group called PICO, Partners in a Criminal Organization. And they were actually the first cats that I heard banging on wax before Bloods and Crips banging on wax. And
Facts.
so just knowing I knew them cats and watching them do what they were doing with the blue tape, on top of, being big fans of Eazy-E, Compton's Most Wanted, all of that, Ghetto Boys, that's what kind of led me into it. But then too, there was already a foundation that was kind of there of creativity because, I used to write poetry to my mom. And I was always good with words and good with verbal expression. So I guess it was a natural transition for that to turn into some type of, written audio expression. So, and I was always good at drawing and just being creative. So I think it all played hand in hand. So the music came first. That's what came first.
Okay, cool. Yeah, because I know, like I said, I'm a fan, so I can, and a lot of us that actually create, because you just a creator, you an artist all the way
Yep.
through poetry. You know what I'm saying? Putting that pen on that pad is real,
Right.
and then you around it, and then
Yeah.
it's like you got so much to talk about because of where you at and how you coming up, and you know what I mean. And like you said, it's just a form of expression, and a lot of people in the hood, that's our outlet.
Yeah.
That's actually the safer outlet rather than because that, people say, man, you a studio gangster. Yeah, I'm just good with these words, but I'm around this shit. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying?
The funny thing is, bro, once I became Court Dog and I started rapping, I would do interviews. Back then, this is way before social media. So you had to really kind of be on your grind. You had to kind of move city to city and hustle. And I would do like radio interviews. I would hit a lot of college towns, do college radio. And when I would do the interviews, they would always be like, you speak so well to be a gangster rapper. And I used to take offense to that because I'm like, which I didn't realize that you do have a lot of guys that when you say studio, they try too hard. They try to emulate what they rapping about. You know, come on, bro. Like, we don't wake up like that. You know, I grew up with some real steppers. You know what I'm saying? Some real ones. And most of them you could never tell. You know, which is why a lot of people ended up on the bad end of dealing with them, is because, you know, they misinterpreted they get down because they were probably quiet or considered a pretty boy or just wasn't loud, but they was the deadliest one in the room, you know. So, you know, I always kind of comported myself, you know, with class and with cool. So what you heard on CD, yeah, that was a part of me, you know what I'm saying? But we doing an interview now. So, you know, there's no reason for me to, you know, quote unquote, get in character and to project that energy when you just asking me where I grew up. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I'm from the motherfucking 1600.
Nah, you know. So I used to get offended, but you know, as I got older, I understood what they were trying to say.
Nah, facts. And that's why I tell her, even though the younger guys, see, I'm 38, so I'm like in the middle. I'm like right under Popper and all them. Huh?
Mm-hmm.
That's what. Oh, I'm sorry. Hey, Court, this is my late ass co-host, Skinny. That's Big Court.
What's up, Skinny? What's up, late ass co-host? How you doing?
That's her nickname. Nah, but yeah, so I'm right in there. So and bro, I went to private school as well. So I'm from Bray Park, and then I went to Scion, and then I went to O'Hara, Miege. So I got it all. You know what I mean?
Let me tell you something that's funny with that. So one of my partners, J-Dub, who I've been knowing since I was probably 5 years old. His parents grew up with my parents, same block. Same thing with him. He went to Redemptress private school. He went to O'Hara. He was in private school his whole life in the hood. He was the first one to go to prison.
God damn. That's crazy.
First one to go to prison.
Boy, hey, don't sleep. That's all I'm gonna say. That's all. Hey, we were one of 20, like all my classes. Well, O'Hara had more black students, but when I went to Miege and Scion, bro, we was one of 20 in the entire school. You know what I'm saying? But see, I never projected that. I'm just from this and from that and intertwined it to
exactly.
You know what I'm saying? To let people know, you know, I can.
And it's nothing wrong. The thing about it, bro, is, you know, when you get older, man, you start to realize and unpack a lot of the bullshit that we thought was cool is really not. Like, that was a blessing that your people were in a position to pay for you to go to private school and get the best education. That's what they should have been doing. You know what I mean?
Right.
You know, we like to, a lot of times people like to downplay that and somehow try to use that as, oh, well, you can't be real. You can't be about this. You can't be a man. You know, because you were educated and your people were in a position to do that. Like, that's the dumbest thing. Like, we passed the time of, you know, being afraid of OG, you know, Mad Dog in the hood. Like, nowadays, man, listen, you know, Tim that works down at the T-Mobile, you got to be concerned with him too, because he have a bad day. He gonna come in here and lay everything down. You know, so you can't really, you know, that's ignorant to think that because someone, you know, is educated, they're somehow soft. To equate, you know, being educated with being soft is beyond me.
Exactly.
So do you still write poetry?
No, I don't. I haven't written in shit probably since I was a kid.
Damn. I mean, hey, but it don't go. I bet if you wrote one right now, it'd be a platinum. You know what I'm saying?
I exercise, you know, my articulation and my loquaciousness in different in different ways now. You know what I mean? Like, usually you know, me and P, you know, we travel around and we do master classes. We talk to kids. We actually, you know, talk to adults as well in terms of entrepreneurship. You know, I use it on the podcast. So, you know, I use it in different ways now.
Facts. Okay, so hold on. You brought it up, so I'm staying right there.
Okay.
Down South Hustlers, 1994. Hey, matter of fact, can you pull that up for me, Craig?
I think it was 95, 96 or something. 96, I think.
Okay. So where was you at? Because you can hear me. I'm about to play it. I'm about to show this picture real quick. I had to dig in the crate. But
you got your cues and everything, huh?
Oh man, we ready. I got it. Because I got to see, where was you at? Go down one more, number 3. So where was Court Dog at? How did you make the track list to this Down South classic one of the first double CDs in hip hop.
This is
How
true.
did you make that playlist? All right, you can take it off now.
So in short, you know, I was a part of a group called CCG, me and my partner, Cisco. Dank Nitty was actually kind of a part of it at a time as well. You know, we started back in a time when it wasn't a whole lot of people from Kansas City doing it. You know, it wasn't, you know, there was no industry really in Kansas City. This is back in the day that you had to, you know, get a demo tape. You either had to have some money or you had to get signed to somebody that had some money and had some resource. So I'm gonna be honest with you, bro. And all of this I'll tie into the present, but you know, I always thought bigger than my surroundings. You know, some of the other rappers that I saw during that time in the early 90s, you know, they were concentrating on being local. They kind of pandered to Kansas City, and that's cool. There's nothing wrong with that. But you know, me and my guy, man, you know, we in the magazines, bro. We wanted to be famous. We wanted to be rich and famous, bro. So we were chasing the people that were winning at the time. We wasn't chasing our peers. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, a lot of times you have guys that have local mentalities to where they're trying to outdo each other and trying to get the crown for the city. You know, we looking at motherfuckers on TV like, no, that's where we trying to be. That's the competition. So now, mind you, I'm only 17 years old. I graduated in 94 at 17. So around 17, 18, I start sending tapes to record labels, sending demo tapes. And they would, the record labels would send them back. And it would stamp, you know, we don't accept unsolicited material. I didn't know what that meant. And so I was like, well, shit, let me try to send it to some smaller labels. Now, I didn't even have the term or understand the verbiage of, you know, independent. I didn't know what that was. Right. And so, but I just knew they were smaller. So I sent it to No Limit, Rap a Lot. I sent it to Dog Day, In a Minute, all these rappers back then. I'm sorry, all these labels back then. And so what I would do is if they had the number on the back of the CD, I would call that number. So like, honestly, we actually were talking with Ruthless Records first. So we were really trying to go with Ruthless. And so it just so happened E had picked up Bone Thugs. Now we had a similar style to them. And so I was kind of like, damn, he probably ain't gonna fuck with us because we kind of similar. But we were talking with Ruthless, and it was this lady named Tamika Ware. I used to call him every day. I had a cell phone, that big brick cell phone, and like 95.
The Nino.
Yeah, you know, the Nino. I had the Nino. And so I was talking with this lady named Cassandra Ware, and Easy heard my tape. She was like, Easy finally heard the tape. You know, he's gonna get with y'all, whatever. And so he died that March. You know what I'm saying? He ended up dying. So all communication ceased. So I went back to the drawing board, and then I didn't even know who Master P was. People would say that Dank Nitty sounded like Master P. We didn't know who he was. And so once, because everybody kept saying that dude with y'all sound like Master P, I went, listened to his CD, Ghetto's Trying to Kill Me. I was like, oh, okay, it's kind of cool. And so I said, oh, this nigga got a label. So I sent it to his label. And so I used to call his voicemail, fill it up so nobody else could leave a voicemail. And so one day, shit, nigga called me. He called the house and was like, shit, you know, we started talking, and he was like, I'm doing an album called Down South Hustles. Y'all want to be on it? I said, hell yeah. So about a month later, he sent, this is back when you had to mail tickets. He mailed the tickets from Southwest. And so for Southwest. And so shit, we went out to the Bay. And we got in the studio. We did that song R.I.P. Me, Him, and Silk. We did a whole album called 100% Gang with Beats by the Pound. Yes, you know, we lived with Mia X and C Murder at the time. And so it was, you know, that was a hell of experience. You got to think, bro, I'm 18 years old. I have no reference of the music business. I don't know anything about anything. All we knew was how to rap, you know. And that's how it happened. That's how it started.
That is insane.
So I heard from the grapevine that your favorite group is Bone Thugs and Harmony.
Is that the best group?
Yeah. I would have to say definitely, yeah, one of my favorite groups. Yes. And who I'm proud to say are my brothers. You know, over the years we worked together and you know, I have relationships with them. But yes, Bone Thugs and Harmony and Ghetto Boys, and probably NWA, you know, and 3 6 Mafia too. But yes, Bone Thugs definitely.
Yeah, see, I was gonna wear my stuff, but
I bought her a
I'm
hoodie to
drunk.
wear it for this interview, Court.
I'm drunk.
I
Leave it
bought her
alone.
the hoodie, the Bone hoodie.
Yeah.
I don't
Man,
care.
anyway.
I think a lot of people now, like, again, it's a different time, a different generation, but you know, back then, you know, Bone had such a movement. It was like the Migos, like Drake. At that time, you had to be alive to understand that explosion, and we were right there. That's why P fucked with us too. That was the other part of it, is we were his version of Bone Thugs and Harmony. You know, P is always one to pretty much do his version of whatever's cracking, you know what I'm saying? So, you know, for all intents and purposes, we was like the knockoff Bone Thugs and Harmony, you know what I mean? We were just a duo, you know.
Man, but it was still raw though. Hold on real quick, because you did it with Crazy, so I gotta, let me see if I can do this. To underestimate you, see it on fate, do straight, get popped in the show, me state. All right, hold on. I ain't got it all, but that was one of the verses on the RIP song.
Oh shit, it was. That was my partner Cisco. That was Cisco.
But see, okay, even back then, I didn't know whose verse I was rapping.
Yeah.
But I knew, I was like, CCG's on here.
Yeah.
We got Kansas City got one of the dopest songs on the Down South Hustle project.
Yeah.
Yes.
And you know what's crazy about that, bro? There's always been a disconnect with I'm gonna say with CCG and even to some degree with myself, because there were a lot of people that didn't realize that we were from Kansas City. They, you know, to this very day, people are still putting together that I'm Court Dog and that was me on that song, and we're from Kansas City. You know, a lot of times, man, I was able to get us or get myself in spaces, I'm gonna say almost prematurely before the groundwork was laid. Because again, we never pandered to Kansas City. Everything that we did, bro, was always out of town. We was always in out of town magazines. We were always on out of town compilations. We were always networking out of town. To be very honest with you, and I don't mean this in a disparaging way, but I just never seen the benefit of just networking locally, because we're all here looking at each other. And the only way that we're going to put the town on and we're going to expand this thing and grow is if we venture out. So that was always just my position on it. Like I say all the time, you know, most people, at least in that time, and to some degree, some of that mentality still permeates through the city. But I put the city on my back and went out into the world, whereas a lot of people would turn their back on the world and just talk to the city, you know, and we can't expand just only dealing with each other, because then it becomes like a pep rally. You know how pep rallies was in high school, you know, everybody hype, but then nobody goes out and plays the game. We just sit here and hype each other up. Like it can't grow like that.
Right, fact. Okay, so look, I love that, because I'm 03. I graduated in 2003, and I knew, because I wanted to rap. Like, this is my heart and soul. I went to Full Sail, Orlando, Florida. I'm talking about 3 months after I graduated, I left. I'm gone. I was not gonna stay here. I just knew it, because my vision was bigger. Why do you think that? Do you think people see places like Texas and California where you got a Messy Marv and you got a Lil Flip that is able to become a 6-figure artist or make it look millionaire, that they be like, well, no, we can do it here? And what's like the disconnect? Like, why can't we do it here? I mean, I'm
gonna tell you, the culture is different, bro. For one, you're talking about size. You know, Texas is 4 times the size of fucking Missouri, 3 times at least. You know what I'm saying? So the culture is different. It's like that in Midwestern cities. If you think about, you know, go back to Bone Thugs, you go back to Do or Die, go back to Kanye West, go back to anybody who was from a Midwestern city, they had to go away, then come back. You know, they didn't love them until the rest of the world loved them.
Facts.
Down south is just a different culture. It's just different. They support their own. You know, like you said, Slim Thug was able, these guys, Mike Jones, even to this day, you know, he'll pick up a 20 ball every weekend. You know what I'm saying? Just going to Austin and going to them southern cities. So Yeah, and as far as why it's not like that, I just think that Kansas City is just, it's never been a town of industry, of entertainment like that. Now, of course, we had the jazz district. Our culture is rooted in that. But in terms of current music, it was just really no industry there. It's really no, and the people there, from my experience, they don't think like that. You know what I mean? Like, if you're from the city, it may have changed a little bit over the years, but it was almost like, if you from the city, shit, they automatically don't like you. They feel like you local, and they can touch you. Now, you have had other people like Rich. You had a select few that they did embrace, that I seen. They embraced Rich the Factor. They embraced Fat Tone, but I think they more embraced Fat Tone after he died, from what I saw.
Thanks. Yeah, that's real.
And I'm sure there are a couple others, but Road Dogs, they embraced. Tech, even to some degree, they still do and don't. But me and Tech kind of shared the same lane, or same path, I should say, in terms of, we just didn't pander to Kansas City. We just did our own thing. And if you fuck with us, you fuck with us. If you don't, you don't. I believe Rich catered to Kansas City. I don't think Rich cared about the rest of the world. I don't think he cared about anybody else, but he wanted the hometown to rock with him. So his focus, and I think his goals were different, and so based on those goals, you're going to move different, and different things are going to be required of you. You know what I mean? So you kind of sacrifice it. It came down to sacrificing the village to gain the kingdom. You know what I'm saying? So,
well, look, that's real. That's real. And look, because Rich, to me, he's an anomaly.
Yeah.
Somebody that can cater locally, and he just, whatever he did, his sound, because I don't know nobody that really don't like Rich. I didn't meet nobody that didn't like Rich till I moved to Florida. They was like, what is this?
I got a confession. Rich is my brother. Rich was on my Kansas City Chief album. I'm probably one of the only people that Rich never charged to do a verse. And I got love for Rich. I went to high school with his sister, who I'm cool with. I never listened to Rich's music. I'll be very honest with you. I never listened to any KC music when I was there. The only people from Kansas City I listened to, as I told you before, was Money G and PICO initially as a kid, because that's what inspired me to get into music. Now, I supported everybody and I could recognize everybody, but just to be honest with you, I don't know, bro. The Kansas City sound, I never really got into it like that. You know what I'm saying? Our sound was so different. And it probably could have been because, I listened to a lot of different music. Even though I grew up on the West Coast stuff, I was influenced by the South too, and so I think this is one thing that I noticed, right? And I'll share this with you. So Kansas City had a real love for the West Coast and primarily the Bay Area. A lot of times, to some degree, so like Mac Dre, Messy Marv, those guys, even Brother Lynch Hung in my era, Sibo, who we all love, those guys were big dogs in our city. We looked at them like the end all be all.
Right.
But the truth of the matter, when you get to the business of music, right? The truth of the matter is those guys were really kind of small fries in the overall grand picture of music. So there's a big difference between, a Sibo career, and I don't mean this in a disparaging way because Sibo's the homie, but I'm just saying business wise, there's a big difference between his career and a Snoop Dogg's career in terms of influence, impact, and numbers.
Right.
Now, Sibo is one of the GOATs, right? We're not talking talent. We're talking business. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So now what happens is when you have somebody like a Messy Marv, who is an independent and a regional star, even somebody like a Lavish D, who actually said out of his mouth, he got his first bag out of Kansas City. Like, he was like, I would throw a show in my hometown, nobody would show up. I go to KC and pack it out. So these guys, these regional guys, or these guys that would be considered on the grand scheme of the business, really low bottom becomes our ceiling.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
So think about that. So we're already kind of behind the 8 ball because we're in the Midwest, and then we're kind of emulating a style, and we're emulating and we're trying to get to the careers of people that are, you know, kind of at the bottom of the overall picture of things. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And I don't mean that in a bad way, but just in a real way. You know,
no, our ceiling is their floor.
Yes.
Type thing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So where we think that Messy Marv is the end all be all, and Messy Marv was dope, you know, his career is a lot different from a Drake. So now you have rappers that are trying to emulate a guy who's selling, you know, 50,000, 60,000 units, thinking he's going to get the results of Drake's career.
Right,
you know what I'm saying? So, but he's going to make the moves predicated on trying to get Messy Marv's career, which are different than the moves to make to be the Drake. You see what I'm saying? So it gets kind of deep when you really unpack it.
Absolutely. See, that's and one thing I did was study analytics as far as that. Actually, me and C-Dub was talking about it in Dallas for as far as streaming. But I would say, let's say Sebo sell 50,000, and Snoop Dogg go double platinum, and Sebo make more money due to the business. Sebo getting 7 to 7.
That can happen.
CD.
That can happen.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep. That like absolutely can happen.
Yeah.
Now, depending on how a person's situated, how that's offsetted, though, I'm gonna tell you how that can be offsetted. So, you know, you're correct. You're correct. If somebody like MC8, who, you know, we kind of bumped heads a little bit on the Gangster Chronicles, you know, like somebody like him who was signed to Epic, you know, he was getting 7 points a record, which basically equates to 49 cents a record. But he's going gold and platinum, you know what I'm saying? Because he has the machine behind him. But, you know, he may get an advance of, you know, $300,000-$400,000, and really that's all the money he'll ever see because he has to recoup out of that 49 cents, you know. So yeah, he got the plaques, he has the look, you know, he's got the big machine, but you know, financially, shit, E40 might be selling 100,000. He ain't going platinum at that time, but he getting $7 a CD. Now, where it can offset a little bit is now because MCA does have that big major push, and he obviously is touching more people. Now, because he has a platinum record, his price points are different for the show money. You know, so that's where it offsets.
Other areas. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. That's what I say. I say, man, because I went on tour with Brother Lynch in 2014, the first time he ever went on the road. Won't get on planes. Brother Lynch ain't getting on no planes.
No, not at all.
You can't get him $2 million. That nigga will walk.
Yeah, that's right. Facts.
But I learned from you know, like I guess he told me, he said, "Hey, little bro, Season of the Sickness just went platinum 20 years after I dropped it. It was 2014. He dropped it in 1994. And he was just like, he just wasn't enthusiastic about it or nothing. And it was like, because he never really got compensated for it.
That's right.
You know what I mean? Like,
that's right.
And I don't know his personal business, but as far as like artists, they get in this game, you got to understand the 360s, the publishings, all of this, because I know artists that walk through the Chitlin circuit and make 150,000 and just circle it and do it once a year.
I think it depends on what your goals are, bro. You know, everybody, that's one thing I learned. Everybody has different goals and everybody takes different paths to get to those goals. You know what I mean?
Right.
You know, a 360 deal can work for some people. You know, it depends on how you're leveraged in the game. You know what I'm saying? That's why it's important for someone to come in with leverage that have already laid a foundation and done the groundwork, you know, where at that point the label wants to be in business with you. You know what I'm saying?
That's what JP said. When JP's came on there, JP's had said that. He was like, if you cracking, fuck that 360.
Yeah. Now, I'll be honest with you. It can work for some people because you got to look at it like this too. You know, again, it depends. It really depends, bro, because everybody is situated differently. Some people don't have the team and the infrastructure. You know, sometimes they're just talent and they have something, they do it, it takes off, but they don't have the business mind or the infrastructure to really take it to the next level. They may need that help. They may need that staffing. They may need that direction. You know what I'm saying? So it depends. But I think the upside in a 360 is that, you know, you're vested. They're vested in you. So they're gonna really, really push you because they're vested in you. So it's almost like you can count on their greed. You know what I'm saying? So I tell people, you know, smart business, you can own 100%, you know, of nothing that has no value, or you can own 50% of $1 billion.
Yeah, you go.
You know what I'm saying? So, you know, so a lot of people talk about, I want to own my shit. I want to own my masters, but yeah, your masters ain't worth shit though. You know what I'm saying? So, okay.
I swear to God, when I first started doing this podcast shit, and I was just, you know, artists was just coming in and they talking about ownership. Bro, and it's hard. How do you tell somebody that, Court?
Well, you know, as I say, bro, you know, you let those who have ears hear. You know what I'm saying?
I feel
you know, everybody can't go. And I learned, man, you can't want more for people than they want for themselves. You have to meet them where they at, you know. But yeah, because people, you know, a lot of artists come in with a level of arrogance and entitlement too, you know, and they don't want to expand their minds and learn the business. Yes, if you can own your masters, cool, and bring value to them, cool, right? But if you just sitting here, you know, and you convince yourself because you didn't listen to a bunch of fucking Rick Ross and a bunch of rappers who half of them is capping anyway because they don't own their shit either, but they're gonna tell you they do, you know, you know, and I'm a boss, I'm dead, but there's no value there. You know, I don't give a fuck if you making 10,000 a month. For one, again, I understand money is relative to the individual, but that ain't no money. That's 120,000 a year. That ain't shit, right? So me personally, I could be making 50,000 a month off of something. And if an entity comes in and says, hey, listen, we want to take this shit to the next level. You making 50,000 a month, you know, shit, you can be making $500,000 a month with us, but we want to own a piece of this. If I don't have the infrastructure or the knowledge or the resource to scale my business myself, and I can't see that makes sense to do. Absolutely. You know what I'm saying? To me, it makes sense to do, because I'm gonna be honest with you. Most people build up businesses to sell them off anyway.
Exactly. Man, Big Ben said it last night.
Yeah.
He said that's what I'm in the business of doing now. Is creating a business to sell it.
Yep.
Man, hey, look, okay, hold on, because you know, look, my interviews be so crazy because we get so in depth. Like we'll have 7 subjects and we'll do 2 hours on 2. So I just want to diversify for the fans.
We can do whatever you want to do.
For sure. So let's okay, hold on. I got one more. Hold on. Bring up that cover for me. I got 3 covers I want to pull up, and I just want you to tell me where you was at mentally and physically when this was out. Go ahead. You can hit it.
Pulling rank.
Yes, sir. Where was Court Dog at mentally? Oh, matter of fact, I'm gonna add another one. Mentally, physically, financially. All right, you can take it down.
Pulling rank, bro. So pulling rank, bro, I was in a space where I was outside. I had one foot in the grave, the other one trying to figure out, you know, what I really, you know, I wanted the career and I was working toward the music shit, but, you know, I'm trying to be a young CEO. I got a foot in the street. That was my first solo album. So it's funny. I wasn't confident on that album. I have to give some love to my partners, Cisco, because he was always the creative driving force of our group. I was the business guy. I was the strategist. I was the one that was going to go out and meet people and get us where we needed to get to. And he was the producer. He would, like, in the beginning, oh shit, hold on.
Oh, no, you good.
Still there?
Yeah, we're here.
Okay. In the beginning, he would he would, you know, do the beat, do his verse, do the chorus, and I would just fill in my shit. I would just follow his lead our whole career. Well, you know, come my first solo album, we decided to go with me first. You know, now not to be on no funny shit, but you know, it was like, you know, as we were getting some notoriety, we started noticing that like girls like me, and you know, people kind of like my whole get down. So we was like, well, man, let me just jump out there. Right. And so he supported me on that album. That was my first album that I conceptualized everything. I came up with the songs, the choruses, everything. Right. And it was fun, bro. You know, we did a lot of, I like to record at night. So I would record at like midnight, you know, and I just be up and amped up. So yeah, that's what that album, that's considered a classic, an underground classic, even overseas. Overseas, people still ask me about that album. Matter of fact, I did a licensing deal with a company in Germany who wanted that album on vinyl, and they actually paid me some decent money to license that shit for vinyl. So yeah, that was one of them ones.
Hell yeah. Okay, now you know we got to dig deeper. So you flip to page 3. It's some titties hanging and and it's a shotgun with a girl.
yeah.
See, I was too young to call the hotline. I didn't want to call the hotline. I just wanted to hear the music anyway. But when you was that something that was really, it was like $1 a minute?
Yeah, that was the other hustle back then. You know what I'm saying? I actually got that idea from Master P, but then I was just throwing shit against the wall to see what stick, bro. That was my effort to do some shock value. That was just shock value. I was trying to figure out something that I could get. So that was my trolling. That was my clout chasing. You know what I'm saying?
Shit.
Like, let me get people talking. I'm gonna put a naked bitch on the inside, and people are going to want to buy the CD and see what's on the inside of it. That's all that was.
Bro, I swear to God, I tell people to this day, I'll be like, shit, Big Ho, that nigga had a 900 number. Boy,
yeah. You know, and I always tell people, bro, you gotta put things in context, man. I was very young doing these things. You know, we trying to figure it out, find our way. I was probably 19, 20 years old, you know, and again, there's no reference points. It wasn't like it is now where you could just, you know, tap in with what's going on and just look it up on the internet and see, like, you was kind of in your own little bubble and world, you know what I'm saying? And the information wasn't readily available out there like that. So that was just me, just shock value, bro.
Just okay, bet flexing. Hey, I gotta tell you, that was one I hopped on the bus. I told you I went up there to get it from 35th and Prospect.
Yeah,
Midwest Mafia was up there.
Yeah. Shout out to the homie RB. He owned the Gold Rush. Yeah,
facts. Shout out to them. Okay, hold on. I got 2 more pictures. Hold on a minute. No, I got 3 more. Matter of fact, I fucked up. Okay, that's right. Okay, so let's go to number 4 because I did this out of order. I apologize.
Only game in town. Okay.
Only game in town.
Yeah.
That was, look, the first, I didn't even get past the first song for about 2 months. But okay, you can take it down. But Welcome to My Hood. Where was you and your brother at on that one? Because that was
that came out before Pulling Rank. That came out like 95, 96. That's all Cisco, man. You know, he conceptualized that whole album. I followed his lead. So we got to get that one to Cisco.
Okay.
That was him.
Bro. Shout out to bro. How's he doing? Is he y'all still, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, he's good. I talked to him just a few days ago. He lives in New Mexico. And you know, he raising his family, doing his thing. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, we always stayed in contact.
That's what's up. And shout out to Cisco for giving us maybe being a part of your inspiration too, bro.
Yeah, that's all him.
That. It's a lot of people like I'll be like, damn, where Velvet Cardi go?
Yeah,
what's thing go? Yeah, but see, and it's seeds like you that grow and stay in the game, and we need that because we need these testimonies. You know,
that's right. That's right.
You know, people in my age range, the nigga called me an OG for the first time 5 years ago. I was like, fuck.
Yeah. Hey, I started getting the I mean, I didn't start hearing to probably my early 40s. My early 40s is when I started hearing
Yeah, and I was like, damn, I got a different responsibility. Just with the phrase, you know what I'm saying? So That's why I said, man, salute you. I got one more, and you tell me
all
where
good.
you was at because I think this is gonna be the one that. Go ahead. It was probably the transition.
Okay.
Where was
Kansas City
Court
Chief.
at on this one?
Now you missed the album, right?
I did. No. I got it. I didn't send him the picture. I promise.
Oh, okay.
It was
Okay.
Thug's Diary. You already know. I
So,
got you.
so honestly, you want me to tell you where I was on that album?
Let me hear it.
I ain't gonna lie, Kansas City Chief, I was feeling myself. Because I had my money was right, bro. I wrote Kansas City Chief on the highway. I'll be very honest with you. I wrote it on the highway. I had a now, this is past the statute of limitation. So, way back, we were talking 2000, 2001. I had a plug in El Paso. And so I used to go down to El Paso 3 times a month, and it was 18 hours there, 18 hours back. And so I literally wrote Kansas City Chief on the highway.
In the car
On the highway. And S to the B, I record now. At this time, Cisco had moved. He left Kansas City before I did. So Cisco, S to the B produced probably half of that album. Yeah. He produced half of that album. And then the other half was this guy that was producing for Crazy Bone at the time. I can't remember his name, but S to the B. So I recorded that album with S to the B, but man, I was getting to it back then. I'm not even gonna lie to you. I was feeling myself. I had been in the Murder Dog, I was traveling, I was traveling the country. I was getting to the money. So Kansas City Chief, I was feeling myself.
Thanks. No. But you well deserved though. Like I said,
yeah.
And I actually missed 2. You had the Thug's Diary, and you had the soundtrack for the what was it called?
Yeah, the Thug Still Here. The Thug's Diary. Thug's Diary was my fan base's least favorite album. And looking back on it, I understand why, because on that album, I was very experimental. So after pulling rank, I had this desire for a different sound than Cisco was able to give me. Okay. So what I started to do, I started to kind of tinker with production, because I think what I was after was just a different drum pattern than what he was used to doing. So I started tinkering with shit. So on Thug's Diary, some of that shit I produced. And mind you, I was a new producer. So I think motherfuckers just wasn't feeling that shit. They was like, nah, we used to hearing you like this, not like that. Hey, baby.
And look, and you know what's wild? When DJ Unique stopped producing for Bone, which I'll say, what album was The Resurrection was the last one. And then after that, I think they went to
Swiss Beats. They went to Swiss Beats. Yeah.
But see, it's something about it. Traxster, you got Traxster, Twister, you got Bone, you got DJ Unique, you got DMX, you got Dame Grease and Swiss Beats. And then when they switch, that's what I did. That's what I did, and people wasn't really feeling it like that. But Kansas City Chief, people did feel. They did. That kind of stick out more than any album I've ever done, actually. And then when I did Still Here, I was here in LA. So Still Here has a very West Coast sound to it, because at that time I was working with Kenny McLeod, who actually worked with DJ Unique and Bone Thugs and Harmony. So I was recording out here in Hollywood when I did that album. That's what's up. Hell yeah. Did you like the energy? You know what? I lived in North Hollywood. Now, let me hold on. Real story. This is a real story, OG. Sticky Fingers is my big brother.
Okay.
I was running with him. He kind of took a liking to me because of I had my daughters in the studio. We was in North Hollywood. I can't remember this street. Land. I can't remember the name of the street. Long story short, he invited me to the studio. It was him, Nori. What's the name? The Fredro never really came a lot. But he was like, hey, he would be like, hey, sus, you can pull up. Just this time.
You talking about the studio on Lankershim?
Lankershim, yep.
Yeah.
Yep, that's where we was at. And this particular night, some guy was there, just one of his homeboys. He was like, yeah, man, this another nigga out here from Kansas City named Court. this nigga got an elevator in his house.
That's facts. That's facts.
I was like, the big homie. You feel
Who
me?
was the dude?
I'm trying to think, bro. I don't know if he was one of Sticky's homies or if he was one of Nori's homies.
Yeah, that was fact. That's fact.
Yeah, this is 2014, and I was
right,
like, bro, I've been knew it, and I don't even know. I reached out to you, and then I was such a small fry, just getting my feet wet.
Mm-hmm.
We shot a movie out there, and I was calling. I was like, I called Popper, like, hey, can you call Court and see if he'll come get in my movie? It was just like a role. And I was like, even if you got the message, I'm like, you probably be like, man, this thing, you know what I'm
nah,
saying?
man, because you know, I wasn't on social media. I got on social media. I didn't get on social media till like 2017, 2018. I got on social media really late.
Yeah. But nah, we shot the movie, and because I knew what you was doing. And I'm like, I'm from the town. I'm like, bro, just hit him up. Beto from he was producing with Pimp C and all that shit. He was in LA at the time. I was like, bro, I'm just calling everybody. Like, yo,
you talking about John Beto from Rap A Lot?
No. His name is DJ Beto, but he fucked with Bun B and Pimp C.
Okay.
Yeah, this, like I said, this 10 years ago. Them niggas changed their name and all kind of. But nah, that was a beautiful situation. But yeah, man, I really just wanted to tap in off the music. So I mean, that was with the music. So now, how do we transition from Court Dog to Big Court?
You have an elevator in your house?
Yeah, I did. In my other house. Yep, I had an elevator because it was because living in the hills out here, these houses, when you live on, you know, they're situated differently. So when you went in my front door, you know, it was like a first floor, but then on the second floor was the bedrooms, but then the living area and the kitchen was on the top floor, you know, and the garage was on the bottom floor. So you wouldn't have to walk up 3 flights of stairs. Yeah, they do that out here too. And so, yeah, I had an elevator that would take us up. And it's so funny, man. When I first moved in, I used to just, you know, I'm on some boss shit, right?
Yeah.
Let me take the elevator up to the kitchen, you know what I mean? But that shit got old after about a week because you get impatient. You look up like, man, let me just walk up here. You know what I mean? So I got tired of waiting on it and, you know, calling it and, you know what I'm saying? So then we only used it to take the groceries from the garage up to the kitchen. We never really used it otherwise.
And don't lie, you know you did it when the bitches came over. Don't try to do it.
Oh no. You know, I got an old lady. You know what I'm saying? My house is a family house, bro. Yeah.
All right, y'all. Stop looking at
I've been with the same woman since I was 15 years old, bro. So I don't do that.
You got one of them stories?
Yeah.
Shout out to Big Court, man.
Yeah.
When you talk about the level of respect don't get no higher, I'm gonna make some room.
I appreciate that. Thank you. I appreciate that.
Absolutely. So, okay, hold on. So, matter of fact, even before the podcast, let's talk about True Muscle. Was that the name of it? What was the name of the
it was True Muscle. It was True Muscle Sports. So, and kind of tying that into your question before, you know, coming from Court Dog to Big Court, you know, when I moved out here, bro, I ain't gonna lie to you, dog. Because I started music in 1990. So by the time that I moved out here when I was like 20, I was 26, 27. I was running on fumes as a rapper. I was outgrowing it, you know. Right. I had one of them real conversations with myself. Though I had some moderate success, some independent success, I had made some money. I remember saying to myself, like the nigga told, like Ving Rhames told dude on Pulp Fiction when he told Bruce Willis, you know, if you were gonna make it, you would have made it already. And so I had that conversation with myself and I said, this is getting old. You know, I'm at 27, 28, I'm starting to feel a little bit out of place as a rapper. So, you know, that's when I made the transition to say, well, let me start getting into production, acting, and different things. Let me carve out a different lane for myself. Cause, you know, now at that time, bro, I was already building a successful real estate portfolio too. You know what I'm saying? So I was seeing success in other areas as well. So, you know, and when I moved to LA, see, this is the disconnect that a lot of niggas have with me in Kansas City, because when I left, nobody knew what was going on with me. You didn't see what I was doing unless you knew me. right? Because I wasn't on social media showing it, you know.
Right.
So there was about 15 years that it just seemed like I dropped off the earth. You know what I'm saying? Because I wasn't on Facebook. My daughter used to run my MySpace for me, you know, but I just didn't know nothing about social media. So, you know, when I reemerged on social media, and like I said, like 2017, 2018, something like that, you know, I had already gotten into working out. You know, I'm 60 pounds heavier, all muscle. I cut my braids, you know, and you know, when I came on, people was like, hold up,
Right.
that's you?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, facts. Facts. You got to come back like you stepped out the phone
yeah,
booth. Like they was,
yeah.
who is this nigga?
So Big Court kind of came just as the mature version of Court Dog, you know, the grown man version, the grown up,
Oh,
you know, CEO. So
Detroit Red. Is that a good
hmm,
example? Detroit Red.
hmm,
You went from Detroit Red to Malcolm.
exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So it was just me growing up, and it was just me evolving, and you know, and getting into the healthy living thing. That was actually inspired by P, you know, just, you know, because we always, you know, P is my brother, man. I've been knowing P almost 30 years, you know. So,
Right.
you know, we always talk about investing in things and doing things that you love, you know, because you're gonna put the work in, you're gonna put the time in if you're passionate about it. And so, you know, P would always tell me, as it pertains to, you know, the healthy living products, he'd be like, man, you your own best billboard.
Right.
Because when we would travel and go places, people would always ask me, what do you take? What do you take? What do you take? It was always the question. So when I would be naming off, man, I take this protein, I take this multivitamin, and nigga P said, man, you need to be telling them people you taking something you own.
Exactly.
And I was like, damn, you're right. I never thought about
Yeah,
that.
facts. 'Cause
So
you
that's
running
how
with
that started.
yeah, facts.
Yeah.
Nah, but see, like you said, perfect, man. You got it. Like as far as the physique and all that, man, you
Hmm.
can't deny that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like me, I don't know too much about it. I just try to stay on the lean. I'll be on my Bruce Lee shit. You know what I'm
That's
saying? I
right.
be trying to stay trim and thin. You know what
Karate
I'm
body.
saying? But as
Yeah.
far as what you got going on, bro, you inspire a lot of people just off
I
of
appreciate that. I appreciate that.
absolutely
And more importantly, bro, what I wanted to do, you know, because it was really the healthy living component. You know, have to be buff and muscular to be healthy. You know, it was really just about educating people to, you know, proper diet,
right.
and also preventative health care. You know what I'm saying? Because us as Black people, we already predisposed to, you know, all kind of diseases and shit. And some of that shit is just genetic, but some of that shit is linked to dietary shit, you know.
Absolutely, yeah.
So that was more the messaging. It wasn't necessarily, oh, you got to be buff like me. That's a choice, just how you want to look, you know what I mean? But
Right.
you know, exercise, you know, proper diet, managing stress, and you know, shit, take your ass to the doctor, man. Go get a physical, you know. So that was
Right.
pretty much the message with that.
One key thing you just said was managing stress. Do you think
Hmm.
so? I know people like they eat more. Like there's certain people that eat more when they happy and they eat more when they depressed. And then
Hmm.
you got people that they just influenced by different things. Is there a balance in that to where you say, okay, well, if you just, you know what I'm saying, if you try to you kind of stay in a certain mindset to where you're not so stock markety, you're not so up there.
Yes, yes. Well, I'm someone who's battled with, you know, I battled depression in the past. You know, I think it's really, you know, it's really being honest with yourself and understanding what your triggers are, you know,
Right.
and understanding how to, you know, life is all about perspective. You know, the older you get, I tell people, man, uh, you know, the longer you live, life will teach you. You know what I'm saying? You know,
Right.
life will teach you how to live. So as you get older, you're supposed to get better at these things. So it's all perspective. You know what I mean? Like some people will ask, like, are you a person that thinks the glass is half full or half empty?
Right.
You know, when I've been asked that question, I'm just thankful to have a glass. So either way, I'm good. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Right.
So
Right.
it's all about perspective, and that's how you manage stress. And then you have to understand, sometimes I think people's stress comes from, and I understand these things are easier said than done, but I think that you have to understand that you can't control everything. You have to understand life is a journey, so you can only control is an illusion. You can only do your best to influence the desired outcome. But at the end of the day, it's going to be what it's going to be. Right.
Yeah.
So I think acceptance of a lot of things, you know what I'm saying? Whether it's losing someone, whether it's grief, whether it's financial, when it's financial, everybody go through financial ups and downs, even entrepreneurs, even myself as someone who's been pretty much nigger rich most of my young life. It's a difference between being real rich and nigger rich.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Say nigger rich, you can lose that shit with a, as they say, with a wild summer. You
Yeah,
know what I'm saying?
a wild night. Be gone.
Yeah, wild night. You know what I'm saying? So, I think it's just doing the best you can and getting proper rest. And when you look at life on the scale, of life, right? In terms of, is this particular situation I'm dealing with, will this matter to me when I'm at the end of my life? If this was my last day on earth, would I really be that concerned with this? Because we've all had times in life where we thought that it was impending doom. We thought that, oh shit, life is over. Oh my God, I can't handle it. It's over. And then we still here. And then you look back on that and be like, damn, shit, I made it past that shit. I thought that was it. You know what I mean? So
that is a crazy way to look at that shit. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah.
Would this would you say it again? Because you said would this make any, like, how do I,
whatever you dealing with right now, whatever stressing you out, would this be that important? Would it have the gravity? Would it be the brevity of it if this was your last day?
This is my last
You know what I'm
day.
saying? If this was your last day on earth, would you really care that much about it? So you have to be able to live your life from your last day. You know what I'm saying? You have to. So when you 80 years old and you looking back, yeah, I remember when I was 35 and I thought that I was gone, and here I'm 80. You got to be able to live from that spot.
That's crazy. Yep, I'm with it. So I co-sign. Hey, I can't co-sign shit you say. You the big homie. But
man, you live life long enough for it to teach you how to live, bro.
Facts. That's real. And bro, that's what I do, man. And you know what, man? I take pride in being around people and trying to inspire them to do good. You know what I'm saying? And just, like you said, expand. Moms taught us early. I went to Canada in the 6th grade. Niggas ain't been the truce.
That's true. That's right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, they ain't been
Where
the
in the
shining
6th grade?
mission. Canada.
For what?
Well, I went to a private school, so we had pen pals.
Bougie bitch.
So in the kindergarten, they matched us. We had a brother school in Montreal. And what we would do, we would write them like 2 or 3 times a year up until the 6th grade. And then in the 6th grade, we would go there and they would come here. So I got to, experience early, like you were saying, early in the game.
So traveling is super important. And I think that sometimes, it hinders people. I think, sometimes you have to see something different to think different. You know what I mean? And, early on, I was traveling, from a kid, even in the 90s, so I was able to see what was going on in different communities and be exposed to different things. So it broadened my outlook on things, so it's hard to convey that message, when you're talking to someone who ain't never left their 5-mile radius, so they can't see what you can see. You know what I'm saying? And it's one of them things, like I always say, bro, everybody got sight, but not everybody has vision. You know what I'm saying? Because vision is usually, being able to hit targets that everybody can't see. So, it ain't for everybody. You can't have that conversation with everybody.
What do you think the fear is? What do you think it is keeping people? Is it okay? I'll say it's a comfort zone. Why do you think people are so afraid to leave their comfort zone? Because
comfort, like, it's the fear of the unknown. Comfort is easy. You know what I'm saying? It's the fear of the unknown. Comfort, I always say, complacency is the enemy of progress. You know what I'm saying? But most people, just by design, man, they want to be comfortable, and you can't. Growth is not comfortable. You know what I mean? And success is not comfortable. You have to, as Steve Harvey would say, you have to, like, jump off the cliff and literally be building your plane on the way down. But most people, they don't want that.
You got the nah, it's cool. Nah, it's recorded, y'all. Y'all can run it back. You dropping a lot right now. You feel me? But
Yeah.
since you did mention Steve Harvey, we gonna line this up very perfectly right now.
Hmm.
Cat Williams. Now we know. Well, I figured it out. Man, matter of fact, the movie. What's the name of the movie y'all did together?
Young American Gangsters.
Young American Gangsters. Did it ever
Mhm.
drop?
Not domestically.
Okay. So how would you get it? Is it like you got
So
DVDs or something?
so when I did that movie, right? When I did that movie, I did it in 2000. We did that movie in 2005 or something. Yeah, 2005. I produced that movie. I used, 250,000 of my own money. I have people, again, you have to remember this is 20 years ago. So
Facts.
when people are like, well, how'd you spend that much money? Well, there weren't 5D and 7D cameras back then. You either shot on 16 millimeter film, 35 millimeter film, or you shot on digital tape like a Panasonic camera. But you still had to rent all these expensive lenses, the 35 millimeter lenses for the depth of field.
Yeah.
So there weren't drones back then. If you wanted a moving shot, you had to rent the tracks, those train track looking
Yeah,
things, and
yeah,
you had
yeah.
to, and the big ass dolly, you know what I'm saying, with the rig on it and all of that. So equipment was super expensive back then. You talking about for lenses, I'm paying $2,500 a day just for lenses. Another, $2,500 a day for the camera. I'm shooting in 12 days. You know what I'm saying? It adds up really, really quick.
Facts.
It wasn't no Airbnb. So I'm renting mansions and shit for 5,000 a day. You know what I mean? Like it was
Jesus
a different
Christ.
time.
Yeah.
So so now when we did the movie, there wasn't streaming, there wasn't Tubi, there wasn't the distribution back then was different. You had to have a network to want to buy your movie.
Right.
It wasn't this thing of independent movies. So the way the independent movies came out back then was either DVD, Redbox, or Blockbuster, or Hollywood Video, or something like that.
Right.
So at that time, I actually flew to France. I went to Nice to Cannes Film Festival, and I ended up getting distribution for the film. I got it through Loose Cannons and Maverick. So they tried to get it to BET and those channels back then, but they didn't want it. So they was like, shit, we still can go overseas with it. So I licensed it to them for 10 years. They took it overseas, Japan, Europe. They have an insatiable appetite for Black culture. And
Yeah.
so, it had all the subtitles and shit. So, I mean, they gave me that. I got my money back. They gave me 200 bands. So I got my money back.
Okay.
But they took it and probably made twice, 3 times that. I didn't really know what I was doing. So 10 years later, when they give me the rights back to it, it's old. I'm 60 pounds heavier. I cut my hair.
Right.
Lingo
Right.
is different. The sensibilities of movies are different. You know what I'm saying? So even in 2015, 16, I want to put it out. So
Right.
now you fast forward to now, I'm
Yeah.
kind of like, nah. So it's almost like as a rapper, hearing your first rap that you recorded,
Right.
and you like,
Yeah.
even if you did have Pimp C on that motherfucker or
Right.
whoever, you like, nigga, that was trash. So now,
Yeah.
it was good in the time that it was done, but
Right. It didn't
now
age
not
well.
so much.
Yeah. A lot of stuff we do, especially them eras, it just didn't age well.
It didn't age well. It didn't
Yeah.
age well,
Yeah.
and I think a lot of it is because I'm just in a different space too. You know what I'm saying? So, and then you have to be brand conscientious too. It'd be one thing if it was already out and people can see you grow out of that. But at this point, being that hasn't been out and nobody's been introduced to it, I have to be conscientious of my brand too, of what I'm building. And where I was then doesn't necessarily line up with where I am now to be
Yeah.
introducing this new element,
Right. Right.
So
Right.
it just didn't make sense. It doesn't make sense to do.
Right. No, she had it. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
So you said he worked with Cat Williams.
Yeah, they did a movie.
So
I can't hear.
he acts the same
Hold on.
in person and not in person.
Make sure it's on. Okay. She was asking if is Cat Williams the same type of person he was when y'all made the movie to today?
I haven't spoken to Cat in some years, and probably it's been about 6 years or so. So based on his latest interview, I would have to say yes. I was really close.
Pretty congruent.
Yeah, he's pretty consistent. Cat, like one thing that I say, bro, Cat is the core of him is a good guy. Cat has a beautiful heart. He's a super giving guy, super giving. I've seen him do some amazing things. I've seen him give jewelry off of his neck, off his body to homeless people, to other people. I've seen him give cars away to people who just needed transportation. I've seen him pay for shit 10 times, 20 times, whatever it was, just to bless people. He don't want no praise for it. He doesn't want any recognition for it. Those things are true. Those things are very true about him. And it's the same thing of him showing up for my movie. He did that movie and he didn't have to. He didn't charge me a dime. You know what I'm saying? And he was Cat Williams at the time. You know what I mean?
Damn.
So it was just him supporting a friend. So, he's pretty consistent. But as far as his interview, I have a few ambivalent, feelings toward the interview, because, I have a difference of opinion with some of the things he was saying.
Is it due to the relationships you got with some of the people, or is it just?
I only have a relationship with him out of the people. No, not even about the people necessarily. I only have a relationship with him. I don't know them other people like that.
Okay. All right. Well, see, that's fair. That's fair.
Yeah.
You feel me?
Yeah.
Ain't no biasness going on. That's my homie. But I still gotta see that. I think we gotta normalize that too, because a lot of people be like, they just biasly on somebody's side.
Nah,
you know what I mean?
I know how to, remove that. Hold on just a second. Okay, I'm gonna plug my phone up. Hold on.
Okay, no, do your thing. I'm actually how you do that. I gotta use the bathroom. I don't want to.
What? Nigga, it's a get back. Go ahead, Skinny.
What?
Ask questions. Jesus Christ.
I don't have that. My mind is not working right now.
Never say that online, baby.
I don't care. I don't care. My mind is.
You ready to shit
At all.
I don't need to interview. I think still put his phone.
Yeah.
I'm gonna kick his ass. He mean that's a video really like on the damn live show. Yeah.
I don't get it.
Maybe I am Christian. Why he's in
That's why I'm quiet.
Hey, be quick. You hear me?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm ready.
Okay. While he at the bathroom, I got one question. This CJ, I'm behind the scenes. I do want to ask you, because I'm trying to become a better interviewer. What tips would you give someone like me to become a better interviewer when they have guests on?
I would say, be prepared. I would say just let it flow. Let it be, you consider yourself a conversationalist. You know what I mean? Just have a regular, normal conversation. Don't overthink it. I think be respectful to the interviewee. Don't be afraid to give some pushback, but be respectful at all times. That's how I do my thing. You know what I mean? I basically comport myself on camera the same way that I will be talking to someone in my, in private. So I think always just creating a safe place and a comfortable place for that person that you're interviewing, so they don't feel attacked. They don't feel like you're trying to exploit them, and preparation, bro. That's all I would say. It's like a dance. You know what I'm saying? It's like a dance. And once y'all figure out y'all rhythm, then, you create something wonderful,
Thanks.
Appreciate that. I appreciate that.
For sure.
Hey, that's what I try to do, big bro. I know, shoot, you ain't, you know what I'm saying? You do this, we do. I'm trying to get to that level, you know what I'm saying? From the hours to, I'm trying to get to my 10,000 hours as quick as possible. This is the third show I did in the past 24 hours, and I got one after this. So
nice.
You know what I'm saying? I'm just trying to stay consistent. I know my big bro, he said,
That's
hey,
it.
what's your analytics? Send them to me. I was like, oh, you gotta give me a minute. So I was like, man, I'm building, man. I'm just creating, I'm networking.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm trying to do. But I'm watching you too. You know what I mean? So
I appreciate that. Yeah, I'll be honest, bro. I didn't know how to upload a video to YouTube prior to me doing the podcast 2.5 years ago. So a lot of the stuff that it all comes down to work ethic, bro, and consistency. You know what I'm saying? Like I tell people all the time, people get into the, they land that you can get into the Hall of Fame through base hits. You know what I'm saying? So everything is not going to be a home run. You just got to keep swinging. And, if it's something you're passionate about, you'll put the time in, Absolutely. And it's really just consistency with this shit. Cause you figure out what works, what doesn't work. And if you really are passionate about it, you'll make those necessary changes. I tell people, putting in the work is not only just doing the work, but it's also making the necessary changes. You have to be pliable. You can't operate with ego. You always have to stay, learning and stay evolving, especially with technology, because a lot of what you're fighting against is technology. You're fighting against AI. You're fighting to be in unison with AI, and you're fighting for the algorithm. So it's so many other things that you have to fight against. Sometimes when you don't have any traction on your content, it's not necessarily because it's not good. Sometimes it's just, you're not consistent, or people just haven't seen it. You know what I'm saying? So, you have to work through shit like that. And I would say you have to use all the functions of all these platforms. That short form content is invaluable, because that's higher in discoverability. So you will have your long form, but you want to take those little sound bites that you feel like are shareable and that will connect with people, and throw those out there. Each interview that I do, I might have 8 or 9, 10, sometimes 12 social media clips. Right. And I just throw that shit out there one a day. One of these motherfuckers gonna hit on one of these platforms, whether it's TikTok, whether it's YouTube Shorts, Instagram, my Facebook, and so you create this synergistic, your own little ecosystem. See, a lot of people get tripped up on followers. That's somewhat important, and that's a metric of kind of where you are. But it's really, building a community is the most important thing, because you can have 1 million followers, but they not really fucking with you like that. They follow you, but they not really engaging and not really buying into what you're doing. You might have 1%. But then you might have somebody that got 10,000 followers who 9,000 of motherfuckers is really, really fucking with them. I hope y'all listening. So it's about building a community of people that like what you do and follow you. So, but that comes with, I can't stress enough, consistency. Like I ask people all the time, what is McDonald's selling? What do they sell? What do you think they sell, homie?
Well, we talked. I know what it is, but what do y'all think? Like, what do you think McDonald's is in business for? Because I know the answer, but I don't want to.
Yeah. What is McDonald's selling?
It's real estate. People, you're right. McDonald's is one of the biggest real estate holders, but what they're selling is consistency. You know what the fuck you're going to get when you go to McDonald's. Bam. You know exactly what you're going to get. And that consistency has got them to however many billions of hamburgers that they've sold, you know. So at the end of the day, I can't stress that enough. That's where a lot of people falter. It's not that they don't necessarily have a talent. It's not about the resources. I tell people, they see my platform and they say, oh, well, where you have the set, you have this, you have that. Yeah, but listen, Gillian and Wallow, they aesthetics don't look like shit because they on the go. So they on the go, they set up their little cameras, but the content, it's all about the content. Because nowadays, motherfuckers really don't care. You could be in a backyard, you could be wherever, dog. But if the content resonates and you're consistent, man, you could build something. Right. No. You're right. You're absolutely right. People say, but see, this is me though. And I understand that. And I'm telling my brother Crip, because he's over here, he's agreeing with you, because I get on the whole squad about, from this studio to the other one, quality. But the only reason I say that is because we already talented. Now let's monopolize. Now our quality is better than you. Now we working harder than you, and we look better than you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Don't get me wrong. Quality is important, bro. Don't get me wrong. All I'm saying is, if you can't do that, don't let that stop you.
Right,
So,
right. Okay, yeah, there you go.
So, yeah, quality is important, but don't let that because you feel like I don't know. You got to start somewhere. At some point, you will get to where you want to get to, but you have to. You're not gonna have everything laid out in front of you all the time. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So,
Yep.
to those who may feel as if, well, damn, all I got is my iPhone and my laptop and shit. My nigga, do that shit. Just
It's
be consistent,
millionaires.
and at some point, you'll piece that shit together. That's what I'm saying.
Facts.
And
No,
only,
no, no. That's
only
real.
tell my brother this
Go ahead,
because
go ahead.
when we started, I started with $100 laptop from Walmart and the damn what's the damn Razor camera. That's what I started with, and I think it was like a $30 mic from Amazon. You know what I'm saying? And it's all about you. The
Yeah.
people are there to see you. You know what I'm
Exactly.
saying? And then upgrade in the process. I be trying to tell everybody when you're starting, don't overthink it. You don't
That's
need
right.
to,
That's
stop
right.
looking at all the bigger channels. They had to work to get to that level. They
That's right.
started from somewhere too.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? So that's all I be trying to
Now,
tell my brother.
and that's absolutely correct what you're saying. Now, I will say the only time it's a balance in that. So the only time that you know quality matters, like okay, for instance, when I first started, I knew because I knew celebrities and they would come through for me and different things like that, and I knew what I was shooting for. Because of that, I knew that I had to have a certain look because of the echelon of people I'm dealing with, even down to in real time. When I invited them to my studio where I film is a soundstage. So when they walk in and they see the big cameras and lights, I knew that echelon of people needed to see that, right? Now, if I wasn't doing that, then I probably wouldn't have had to do that, right? But guess what? The other side of that is now if I didn't have that aesthetic, but I was like Gilly and Wallow, I already had the popularity and the database built up, then that shit doesn't matter.
Right.
You see? So it's kind of like a balance in that. You know what I mean?
Right.
So yeah.
And we'll see. This is the thing about me, Court, and I tell like I said, I try to be an inspiration. So I don't give people loopholes. I teach you this is the success shit. This is gonna set you apart. This gonna do that because we already dealing with a lazy mindset group of people just in general.
Yeah.
So I'm like, nah, nigga. If the goal is 10, I'm gonna be like, hey, if you don't do 20, you ain't shit. I'm gonna just tell him that.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? Like I know you can win with 10. You can be successful with 8. You can win with 10, but if you do 20, so that nigga he gonna 15. Like damn,
right.
He at least try to get to 15 because he said I ain't even gonna be in the game without 20. You know what I mean?
Right.
And that's just the thing I say. Like my brother right here, I know how he moved. He one of the most hardest working podcasts. Him and Terry, get it off your chest. These niggas they doing 3-4 shows a week. It's people out here that's doing 1 a week and think they the shit.
Yeah, yeah. What I would tell people too, though, in Kansas City specifically, is kind of speaking to what I said earlier. You know what I mean? I think that sometime when I've seen some podcasts in Kansas City, I think it's cool to have, like I say, bro, it's cool to have town pride and talk about those things. But I think as long as you view your platform through a world perspective, and you try your best to be involved with the national conversation, you know what I'm saying? To make everybody interested and not just your circle of people. It's almost like when you have rappers that just, they only want to please the motherfuckers around them. Yeah. They block, right? They not even taking mention to really, and I'm not saying that you can't be yourself. I'm not saying to emulate anyone, but at least to be mindful of where you are on the food chain and all the pieces on the board. You know what I'm saying? So you can know how to move. It's a reason that the military does reconnaissance. They don't just go into battle without knowing the enemy and the obstacles and who's where and what they got over there. Because if you don't educate yourself to what you're up against, then you're not gonna succeed at your mission. So you need to know what's out there so you know how to move. Exactly. So I say that to say that I think a lot of platforms in KC, I just urge them to be consistent, but also, make that shit about the national conversation, not just about the city, and again, I've seen some of your stuff where you talk about relationships and different things like that. That goes across the board. That's something that, every sector and every group of people can identify with, you know what I mean? So yeah, that's it. It's really just consistency and kind of going back to to tie this in to, as we were talking about Kat's interview, you know, when you talk about perspective and you talk about people being lazy and not wanting to put in the work, you know, the only thing that I take umbrage with like Kat's messaging, I understand that he's talking to his people, right? So what Kat did in that interview was genius, but at the same time, a little bit sabotaging. So what he did was he locked in with his people and his crowd, just like a politician, just like Trump, right? You know, his peers may not like him. Hollywood ain't gonna fuck with him. You know, people are gonna be still apprehensive on fucking with him on some movie shit because they like, okay, he's gonna be a handful. We can't get him under control.
Right.
But he locked in with the people. Yeah. And the people are going to show up to his shows when he book them and come through the city, yeah, right? So he's going to get his money. He took care of that. But I think sometimes the messaging, I really don't like when I'm going to say people, but specifically, let's speak to our culture. I don't like when Black people lend credence to these, you know, Illuminati and all of that bullshit. Listen, in every space, in every sector, of course, you have cliques. You have people that are groups, and you know, you have gatekeepers. Yes, that is a real thing, right? But I think what it breeds is a level of mediocrity. And I'll tell you why. Because I think how some people, our people, equivocate success, they demonize it and villainize it. So what happens is, for instance, sometimes when people see me, the first thing they'll say is steroids. So, but in their mind, what they're not understanding is what they're saying is, okay, it can't be that he just eats right. He's consistent. He's disciplined. He don't drink. He don't do drugs. You know, he exercise every day. It couldn't be that because I can't see myself doing it. So it has to be a slant to it. Crazy. It's got to be a catch to it, right? Yeah. So it's the same thing with success. People will try to quantify them not being successful. It's easy to say because I ain't willing to do that. I ain't willing to sacrifice. I ain't willing to be an Illuminati.
Yep.
It's like, no, that's not how that works. It's not, you know, it's not this thing where you go to this meeting because, you know, listen, if it's Illuminati per se, I mean, I'm looking for the fucking application. I mean, what is it? What are the requirements? Just let me know what it is. And then I can make a decision if it's something I'm comfortable with. Because, you know, and again, even with P, you know, my brother, even at the height of his success, never seen anything or been exposed. Now, again, I'm not saying that these groups of gatekeepers don't exist. That's not what I'm saying. But I think it sends a bad message to people because, at least per my experience, it becomes this thing of, you know, me and Rashad McCants was talking about this on my show, who I have his interview running now. And we were talking about what is playing the game and what is kissing ass. You know what I mean? Let's really unpack that, right? So is it kissing ass when you don't just like, because me at almost 50 years old, I feel like there's a time and place for everything. I feel like just because I think it don't mean I need to say it all the time, right? Sometimes you're not keeping it real, you're just talking too much. You know, so is that playing the game, or is that kissing ass, or is that just being an adult and having couth? And just understanding that I don't need to say everything that I'm thinking. Sometimes you just talk too fucking much. Now, is it playing the game if you show up and you do your job and say, if you know, you just get along with everybody, you just get along, even if you might deal with somebody you don't like or whatever the case may be, but you do what you got to do and you keep it pushing, right? You don't go out of your way to make yourself a pariah. So is that kissing ass? Is that selling out? Now, I definitely don't think that you do things that are against, you know, your morals and what means is important to you. You see what I'm saying? So if you're compromising what's important to you, that's a different conversation. That's not what I'm talking about. But so I think, you know, the issue that I see, like with Kat and with Kevin, I know for a fact they never even met. They never even shared a space. So is Kevin, does he kiss ass and lick ass and do all of that? Probably so. I've heard that. So that may be true. Okay. But that's how he chooses to run his ship. So, but now Kat has to take a little bit of accountability because you were poised to be in that position. And so because you weren't kind of dealing with your issues at the time, you didn't get a hold of your issues, you made yourself a liability. That's the real truth of it. And so, because think about it, you as a business person, you got a crew of people right now in front of you in back of that camera. So if one of them, you're going to choose the person that's going to show up to work, have a good attitude, that's going to do the job that you mesh with, and y'all can get the business done. Or you're going to choose someone who you don't know who's going to go to jail, if they're going to assault somebody, you know, they're volatile. You know what I'm saying? Because guess what? When you say control, when you say, oh, well, they can't control me. Sometimes I'm going to be, now there are times where it is that, but most times it's not that. When I did my deal with Revolt, I had to sign a morals clause. There's a reason for that. It's not that they don't want to, it's not that they want to control me. It's the fact that, okay, we're in business with you. Okay. So if you sign this moral clause and you're representing, you're in business with our brand. If we go out and get you $100,000 worth of sponsorship for, you know, whatever, let's just say, I don't know, shampoo or whatever the case may be, we giving you 100, they gave us 100, we split it 50-50. And now you go off on a rant and you talk about gays and Jews and all of this. So now what happens is you've offended a bunch of people in a community that's going to backlash and affect our business now. And you're attached to us. So you're going to affect our bottom line. You know what I'm saying? So it's not necessarily a thing of, I want to control what you say, but I don't want you to fuck up the money. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're in this to make money. So you can't go off and be doing all this crazy shit representing our brand. And then people are pulling sponsors and they pulling money away because you just want to say whatever. So I think it's a balance. You know, I think trying to overtly go out of your way to offend people is self-sabotage. Now, again, one has to have that conversation with themselves. If you're talking about injustice in Colin Kaepernick's, you know, that's different. You know what I'm saying? That's different. Now, if you're talking about something meaningful and something with impact and something that means something and it can shift the culture, then that may be a good sacrifice. Because if Revolt came to me and said, hey, listen, we don't want you talking about police brutality. We don't want you talking about, you know, these draconian laws that affect, you know, disproportionately affect the community and the hood and different things like that. We don't want you talking about things that could shift your culture in a positive direction. Yeah, then fuck them. You know what I'm saying? But absolutely. You ain't got to worry about me trying to troll and go out of my way to offend, you know, people unnecessarily. You know, so
this is because it don't even have no real merit to it.
Right.
It's just, I just got to go out of my way to express my opinion. And like you said, unless it's going to affect change, then what the fuck for? Especially if it's going to fuck the money up.
Exactly. So I agree with probably, you know, 85% of everything else that Cat said. You know, he dropped some real jewels. Cat is a bright dude, super articulate, super smart. Again, this is someone who I've had many conversations with, but you know, just some of those things, I think, you know, they still lend credence to a certain mentality that I think that we need to get rid of. And some of it is excuses. Niggas just need to do the work. You know, Kevin did the work. At the end of the day, he might lick ass, he might tap dance or whatever, and that may be true. But at the end of the day, he still did the work though. You know, he still showed up and did his job. So that's the way I look at it.
Facts. Can't knock that, man. That's what I said. Like, it's a lot of people in Kansas City don't like me. They don't even know me. But you can't ask nobody that got my direct phone number that you'll find a flaw in anything they ain't none of everything around me is good. You feel me?
You know, it's something to say to that, bro. I'm gonna tell you a crazy, strange phenomenon. It's like I've been in LA 20 years. I've never had problems out here. I've been embraced out here. And though I get a lot of love, I get 99% love from KC. But whatever hate that I get only comes from Kansas City, you know, and it's usually people that I don't know, you know, and really a non-factors is from people that aren't even in the fucking game. That's usually how it go. You know, I just find that weird. It's like, damn, how can I be so embraced by a city that I wasn't raised in? But because I would think that, especially when you talk about Kansas City and me still being tied to the city, I would think that as long as there's no smut on my name and everything check out, I would think you would want to protect me. You would want to protect, my reputation, especially if it's solid, right? Like, because I represent you. You know what I'm saying?
Right, exactly.
Yeah,
because you, man, I look at you. I look at your attire. I peep everything. I see you got the Royals on, whatever, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's always the town, you feel me? And that's love, man. You got on Prospect shit, you got on I'm KC shit.
I've worn everybody's shit that I like. I've worn Popper shit. I've worn Sully 4Q. Sully 4Q did my theme music. I've worn C Dubs.
Shit.
I'm
so glad you said. I'm sorry, I don't mean to cut you off, big bro. I wanted to know what the song was because I really like that song.
Yeah, it's called Holding Court. It's on all platforms. And Sully 4Q from Kansas City, he produced it. He sang on it, rapped on it. He did. That's all him.
I'm going to your store right after this, Sully. I'm going to buy. I'm Court. Hold me to this. I will call you when I get there. I'm gonna go support that brother, man. Right after we get off.
Real shit.
For real.
I've worn let me see, even the homie Ramon Basie that gets the Kansas City shit, the Crip KC stuff. I've worn his shit. I actually, to be honest with you, I've probably gotten more attention wearing his stuff than anybody. And I'm sure he got a bunch of sales off of me wearing his stuff. But and that's how I try to give back and show my support as well. Now I ain't gonna lie, I don't just wear it because it's from Kansas City. I have to like it. If I like it, I'll wear it. Somebody else sent me a hoodie that I can't remember the name of it, but it had Kansas City on. I wore it. So I always support, bro. I always try to support. My heart is pure, bro. You know what I'm saying? I'm really for the town. I try to, I've given people shout outs on platforms to people I've never even met. I've given Rob Lowe the Star shout outs on platforms. I've done interviews. I met her once. What's her name? Amira Wayne. I never met her in life. Gave her a shout out because whoever pops in my head when the question comes up, like where you from, what y'all got going on, then I just ramble off whoever comes up. You know what I'm saying? And I don't have any vested interest in any of these people's careers, but you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I support them.
It's love. It's love,
it.
man. That's what it's about, man. And you don't know who gonna hear it and hear that and hear this, and it just it's certain.
And let me say this real quick. Let me say this real quick too. And the reason there are individuals that feel like I don't support them and I don't share them. And ironically, it comes from individuals who this is strange to me. Like I tell people, you have people that will speak of you in a disparaging manner. They'll say pejorative things about you. And for some reason, they think that they're doing you a favor and they're putting people in the know of you by giving you backhanded, conversation, but then turn around and expect you to fuck with them and share it. And I used to tell niggas that, like, hold up. So you're mad at me for not sharing your content, but when you speak of me in your content, it's always some hating shit. So let me get this right. You want me to send people over there for you to be talking shit on me? Where they do that at? That don't even make sense.
It don't.
So so it's all about building bridges and creating, alliances with people. But see, this is why I say that the term jeffing is the worst concept and trope that Kansas City could have ever adapted. See, back in my day, jeffing only meant you kissing ass. It was that simple. Right. You just stop kissing ass, right? Now, jeffing, like snitching, it covers a myriad of things. Jeffing could be you being positive, you're being polite, you're just being respectful, you being an adult, you're showing support. It could be a million things. So it's like, so is it jeffing when people support you? Is that jeffing too? Because if we're gonna do it, let's cut it out across the line.
No, Court, I'm talented. They ain't jeffing with me. They can't jeff with me because I'm talented. It's because I'm that nigga. I'm trolling, but that's how they be really thinking. You feel me? Like, now, hold on. I'm sorry. I just want to tell you this, big bro. When you said you from the era where jeffing had one definition, my first rap name was Suspect. It had nothing tied in to no gay shit.
Right.
Nothing.
Right.
But as the years go by,
Mm-hmm.
they was like,
It
that nigga
takes on a
name
different
suspect.
meaning.
That's suspect. I was like, nigga, that wasn't no diss back in the day. That meant you was a fucking criminal.
That means you was a criminal. Yeah, I mean, Gangsta Pat. You know, shout out to Gangsta Pat
Oh,
from
God.
Memphis. His first album was #1 Suspect.
Yeah, you feel me?
Yeah,
That's so crazy. I've been playing Player Fly against the Pat for the past 3 days. But go ahead. That's
yeah,
just
yeah.
God, man.
So yeah, man. You know, I think that, but I'm really proud of where the town is now. You know, I all I've ever tried to do was speak to the mentality. A lot of At the end of the day, dog, as Funny Marco says, you know, what is his slogan? You know, it's a mentality thing. You know, it's a mind thing. It's a mindset thing. And that is very true, bro. It's all in your mind, how you see things, how you look at things, you know. And we have to break those shackles, those mental shackles, and that bondage of just so much hate and disdain and distrust and this competition. You know, I don't see that like with you, bro, or the same way with Scheme Him. Shout out to, like, even with Scheme, you know, Scheme, I reached out to him. I seen what he was doing, like, bro, you're doing good. And I would give him little, like, okay, do it like this. You know, I've learned that this works like this. You know, I'm just freely sharing it. Didn't even know that brother like that, you know, but I see him doing his thing. So it's not a thing of competition. It's a thing of, man, it's enough for all of us to do what we need to do, but you have to be receptive to that, you know. But I don't know. You have to be, I guess, secure in who you are and have a level of maturity and emotional intelligence to be able to exhibit that and not feel like you've given up something. Because that's what these niggas act like. They act like because they show you respect and you show them respect back, then they're giving up something. And unless you're doing something for them, they you know, people, everything is transactional. Everything is about, well, shit, fuck that nigga. He ain't getting me no money. He ain't giving me nothing. Why I gotta give you something to have just human respect for me and me respect you? Why I gotta be doing something for you? That right there lets me know that if the, you know, if any opportunity was presented to you, you gonna fuck it up. You know what I mean? So
yeah, exactly. But see, Court, you are giving them something. But see, they so focused on monetary gain. Nigga, you give us something to look up to actually get to. You hit 100,000. I'm probably, I don't know where I got 160 or something, 150. I'm on your heels, big bro. That's all I'm saying.
That's right.
But it's just motivation. But man,
exactly.
And this is what I really want you to do before we go, because I don't know how much time you got, but I don't want to hold your whole day up. But I want you to tell me, just from whatever you've seen and from this interview, what can I do to, you know what I'm saying, maybe speed up the process?
I think it's just exactly what I said. I think just be consistent. How long you been doing it?
I got on YouTube 6 months ago. I've been on Facebook for about a year and some change.
Okay.
I was a featured guest on I was on a couple shows just before I actually started mine. So I say I give myself about 15 months, a year.
Okay. Yeah, and you said you have how many subscribers?
160 on YouTube.
Okay. How often do you post videos on YouTube?
I just do 2 a week.
Okay. Yeah. So you only post twice a week on YouTube.
On YouTube. On Facebook, I fuck it up. I'm way better on Facebook. So I'll drop 20 reels, or not 20, about 10 reels, and then I'll drop 2 or 3, 4 podcasts. I'll do features.
Okay. So with those reels and that content you're putting on Facebook, where are you sending them? Where are you trying to monetize? Where are you sending them?
I'm just basically, I put it on TikTok, I put it on IG, I put it on Facebook, I put it on I kind of spread it out. So when I get an hour or two or something and I'm just chopping up and
let me ask you something, because I could, you know, listen, I'm not omnipotent, I'm not all knowing like that. Why do a lot of people choose to put more effort and more time into putting their platforms on Facebook?
Yeah, I'm about to say because we already established.
That's what I figured. On Facebook already, so
you. It's a lot. It is convenient. Like, it actually took me a big step to cross over here to YouTube, and I'm glad that I can do. But I had to get banned for 60 days to jump over here. I ain't gonna.
So let me ask you. Is your Facebook monetized?
I had some kind of ban, OG, and I don't know how to get out of it.
Yeah, they do that. They do that. I know what you're talking about. They've done it to me several times. I'm gonna tell you why, bro. Because I see a lot of people doing that, and you confirm what I thought it was. I'm gonna be honest with you, bro. Yes, see that comfort that we were talking about. That's what that is. That's that comfort. But you have to understand, you only want to use Facebook as a means for promotion, as a means. You can build it up to where, because you got to really be doing numbers to see some money off of Facebook. You know what I'm saying? So you want to build it up until, you want to send them over, because YouTube is where you're going to make your money. So you have to understand what you're building and why you're building what you're building, right? So when you build a platform, you build a podcast or a TV show or something like that, in essence, you become an advertising agency. So now, of course, because of the platforms you can monetize, that's just one stream of income. But you have to consider, you have to be somewhere to where you can build a database of people. And then you can now, because you have that database, you want to be able to sell them, and you want to be able to get advertising. You want to be able to get reads, and you want to be able to get sponsorship. So all this is about is taking the same asset and monetizing it in different ways. So the problem is, like, so when you on Facebook, right? Everybody doesn't have Facebook. It's almost like doing shit on Twitter. I don't even have a Twitter. So if somebody was to have content on Twitter, I'm not there. Think about YouTube. The reason why it's so easy, because anybody can go there. All you got to do is go to YouTube and pull it up. You don't have to have an account. You don't have to do none of that shit, right? I think that a lot of people don't want to go through that ugly phase on YouTube. Remember back in the day when niggas would be growing their cornrows, and the motherfucker would stop right here, and they go through that ugly phase where the cornrows ride up right here before they got the hang time. So you gotta go through that ugly phase, right? I went through it when I first started my YouTube. My first interview was Michael Jai White. So here I'm thinking, damn, I got Michael Jai White. This nigga got 8 million motherfuckers on Facebook. He's an international TV star. Oh shit, nigga, we going up. Now I knew nothing, right? Man, I put that motherfucker up, nigga, 50 views. I'm like, hold up, what? You know what I'm saying? I'm learning, right? I'm learning. I put the next video up. I'm like, shit. So then as I started getting information and asking questions, they told me the same thing. They said, man, you just got to be consistent. You have to, in order for YouTube to start pushing your videos, you have to be consistent with it. So I drop every day. I'm dropping something every day, whether it's a short or a video. Now, at this point, 2.5 years later, I have my formula that works for me. But you have, because that's how I got the deal with Revolt, not from Facebook. You know what I'm saying? Not from Facebook. So because you have to figure how, if you even get a salesperson, right? If you want to get a salesperson, they can't insert ads into your Facebook live.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? There's really no real metric. And then to be honest with you, if you go live and you only have, let's just say even on a good day, 100 people, you're not going to get someone to say, hey, I want to give you some money to do a read. Promote my business, when they can see it's 100 people, you know what I'm saying? So you want to put your content somewhere where you can build a real community, and I'm not saying that Facebook can't be valuable, because like my big court page, does better than my personal page. I think I just reached like 41,000 followers, but shit, I make money off of that big court page because my content is monetized. Like I don't even have to put other videos and shit like that on there because they pay for the reels. In 1 month I did like 5 bands just on reels, and then they do the in video ads too for the 3-minute videos. So again, it's really learning the technology part of it too. And then I give y'all a little bit more game. Snapchat pay. I make more money from Snapchat depending on the month than YouTube. Cause see, a slow month for me on YouTube could be from $5,000 to $10,000. That's a slow month, right? But Snapchat, and shout out to Gerald Houston. Gerald Houston's the one that put me on the Snapchat game. Now you have to go through a little bit more, jump through a few more hoops for them because they only approve certain content creators. But see, the shit got to be on point. Like they look at everything. They look at.
Don't it got to be through day camera? Because I've seen when I've used day camera compared to inserting my own video, it's a whole difference. Like someone like say for instance, we do a reel from our YouTube. They won't improve it, but if we do it like from using their platform, they'll approve it and push it.
Mm-hmm. You talking for who? For which platform?
For Snapchat.
For Snapchat, I'm not sure. I'll be honest with y'all. I got in through Snapchat through Inside. You know what I mean? Just because I already had a established platform. You know what I mean? So I kind of I went through probably a different backdoor channel to get it. You know what I'm saying? But I know personally mine was approved just because of the aesthetics and the quality and the type of guests I had and the traction I had already built up, you know. But it's also like the audio side of it too, you know. That's the deal that I got with Revolt was from my audio side. I'll be honest with you. I had never made a dime from my audio. I just knew to put it up. You know, I just put it up, put it on all platforms. Anybody that want to listen to the shit, they can listen to it. What fucked me up one time, I was in line at this movie premiere and I was talking to somebody and it was a dude behind me that said, he was like, bro, your voice sounds familiar. And I was like, really? And he was like, yeah. He was like, you got a podcast? And I was like, yeah. He said, man, I'm a trucker. He said, I listen to your shit. That's when I found out a lot of truckers be listening to podcasts.
Yes.
So,
that's it,
so
right.
I always put my audio up. And so just the consistency of it, it grew it to where, you know, I was doing, you know, 50, 60, 70,000 downloads a month, you know, and I'm doing nothing. I just putting it up there. But so that's where the consistency comes in. But I'm saying that to say, when you in the podcast game, when you see Gilly and all these people get that money, it's from that audio side, you know, because they're able, you know, you get paid off the programmatic ads, but it's also when you get reads. GMC might give me 3,500 just to put a 45-second ad in there to talk about their truck. It might be ointment or something like that that'll pay 6,000 for me to talk about, you know, because they kind of go through this thing of what, you know, like I have eczema. So, you know, I get on there like, yeah, I use such and such, man, when my skin get flaky and dry, I use such and such, man, and it cures and soothes that, you know what I'm saying? You do that shit for like 60 seconds, man, give you $5,000. So, crazy. But you have to make sure your content is in these places so that you can open yourself up to be able to do those things. Okay. So I would use Facebook as a promotional tool to send people to YouTube. I would, you know.
And I appreciate that whole spiel on Facebook. I've been trying to preach to them for years about that. Like, look, it's good to promotion wise, but don't, like I said, you got to do major numbers even to get a dime out from them. I said, take it over to YouTube. Yeah, it's gonna be a little slower starting, but once they start pushing it, hey, it's all gas from there. But you got to be consistent. Be consistent. You know what I'm saying? But they be scared because all their people's on Facebook. They see the numbers on Facebook compared to YouTube. I said, stop letting them numbers confuse you because a lot of them numbers you get on Facebook are just people just scrolling. You know what I'm saying? They're not even watching it. They just scrolling. Say it may stop and your shoulder may move. It's a view. I said, stop you know what I'm saying? Stop letting that hold you back from the YouTube side. Go get that YouTube money.
Yeah, because that's a vanity. Sometimes people get tripped up on vanity metrics. You have to know the difference. Like even myself, you know, you might have a motherfucker to hit 1 million views on a video, right? But the watch time is what tells the story and the click-through rate, because you're only going to get paid when people sit through it and the ads run, you know? So now you might have somebody that have 10,000 views, but people sat through 90% of that shit and they're gonna make more money, you know.
Hey Corey, you know what's crazy? I was looking at the analytics and it's like you'll see a 5 to 10 second video, you'll see the views, and you'll see people that actually didn't even watch the 5 seconds. Like the attention span of people already, it's hard to keep them for 5 to 10.
Like I'll give you one thing that I just thought about it with us talking about that. Your opening, right? Your opening to your show, I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't do that on YouTube. I did it. When I first started, I was on the same shit. I had this big, elaborate, cool shit like a TV show. Then I started looking at my analytics like, damn, these motherfuckers ain't making it through the intro. Because people's attention unit.
Matter.
So you saying my intro should be shorter?
Your intro was good. It's just
I wouldn't even, to be honest with you, I wouldn't even put an intro. I would get right to it, bro. What I learned is like what I do with mine is I'll just put a clip. I'll take whatever I feel like is the catchiest thing that was said in the video. I'll start with that, flash to the logo, and then get right to it. You know what I'm saying? Because motherfuckers will click off some shit quick, man. People's attention span is like that. So I learned that trial and error. Okay,
cool. So intro, trim the intro. Anything else you can see? Just like I don't know if you've even, I know you've been on Everybody Love Raw show, but this is one of our mutual brothers. This is my brother, Get It Off Your Chest podcast. Do you got any advice for just Kansas City as a whole as on the podcast game outside of the intro? And
man, just really what I've been saying, bro. Be consistent. I like what everybody's doing, what I've seen. I'll be honest with you. I haven't seen anybody that I don't like. You know what I mean? I could see potential in everybody, because it's not rocket science. What we're doing is not rocket science. Everybody has their lane. Everybody has their strengths. You got some people that are funny. You have some people that are shock value. You know what I mean? You have people that know sports. You have all kind of things. It's just really being consistent and understanding that the thumbnails are important. Your thumbnail and your caption is super important, because that's what's going to grab people. I went through probably 6 or 7 versions of thumbnails just trying to figure out what works. And I would say take it to, and don't prematurely put a paywall up. I see people that do that. Like they'll go to Patreon or something like that. Your demand isn't there yet. You know what I'm saying? You just got to be real with yourself, like you know what I'm saying? You prematurely trying to charge somebody for some shit that they don't give a fuck. Like they don't, you're not there yet.
And I feel as like with us, like, because people asking why don't we charge? I'm like, I feel like we ain't there yet to charge people. Now, if I
don't even do that.
If I pay you put a deposit, that's for your time. Because one thing I hate is my time being wasted. I can never get that back. And if I'm going to base a show around you, you got to at least do me the audacity to show up.
Just show up.
You know what I'm saying?
Look,
I mean, ask yourself.
All you niggas that call into the Red Pill Crip show, you better have better analytics than Big Bro. You just set the bar. Because fuck that. Y'all not better than me. I'm sexy. That's why I'm here.
Hey, I would tell people this. Now I will say this. I'm gonna say 2 things. Look at what, as far as podcasts go, being from people from Kansas City, it would be me and Marco. Marco far above any of us, but I would say look to the people that are winning, look to the people that are successful at it, and do your version of that. You know what I'm saying? Okay. So if you see that Marco ain't on Facebook trying to build his podcast platform, and I'm not on Facebook trying to build my podcast platform, $1 million worth of game, The Breakfast Club. Now, don't get me wrong. You will see their content on Facebook. It's just another means of, you'll see that same asset running, because it's just another means of income, for the same asset. But they're not based there. You know what I'm saying? Breakfast Club couldn't be where they are if they said, okay, we're going to go live on Facebook. You know what I'm saying? It wouldn't be where it is, because Breakfast Club is a major radio show in 100 major cities. You know what I'm saying? And then they get that money, then they get YouTube money, then they get Facebook money, then they get, you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So,
all around.
Facts.
But hey, Big Court.
I appreciate you because my brother been talking about you for like since I met him getting you on. So to finally get you in the building, man, I surely appreciate you.
Hey, I appreciate y'all, man, and it's reciprocated, bro. It's all love. I got so much love for the city, man, and all the podcasters down there. I want to see y'all win. You know what I mean? Like I say, you see what Marco's doing, you see what I'm doing. Do your version of that. And the thing is y'all can surpass us. Everybody has a lane. Everybody has their season to win. Everybody has their path. You know what I'm saying? So you willing to put the work in, shit, just do it.
Right. Facts. And like I said, bro, I don't even want to surpass nobody. All I want to do is I just want to be an asset. I don't want y'all to be like, damn, I got to do Pill a favor again.
One
You know what I'm
thing,
saying?
let me give you one thing, one last thing.
Okay.
I'm gonna be honest with you. At some point, when you grow, if you keep doing this and this is something you really want to build, I'm gonna be honest with you. At some point, you're gonna have to take the Crip off.
Damn.
You're gonna have to take the Crip off. It's the same way, and I'll give you an example. There's a reason that Yo Gotti changed his shit from Cocaine Music Group to Collective Music Group, and 50 told him to do that. 50 told him, dog, you got to change that name. So when you start, we got to think about business, bro, big business. We can still represent our culture. We can still do all of that, right? But you have to, as I said before, you're going to become an advertising agency as you grow. So you got to think, is Coca-Cola going to want to pay you money to run the ads on, you know what I'm saying?
Right. Through that name.
You feel they're not going to want to associate their brand. They got too much at stake for somebody to say, oh, Coca-Cola's endorsing gangbanging to just give you some little money. They're not going to, do that, and you have a lot of brands that aren't going to risk their bottom line and their whole business to give you a few dollars to advertise. And then people say, oh, you're endorsing, a terrorist group, because you can't even say that. You can't even say Crip and Blood. Sure. Oh, if you type it out on Facebook jail, they put you in Facebook jail. And they say you promoting a terrorist group.
That's what it was. I had took a picture with Money Marlowe and Tut, and I actually, because usually when I make captions, I put CR1P, but I actually put the I in there.
Yep.
That one time, and I got banned for 60 days, bro.
Dude, I got banned for 90. So when I put the picture of me and X-Rated and all of us at the KC store, I said Crips and Bloods in all neighborhoods in unison. It was in unity. It was a peaceful day, all love. They put me in Facebook jail for 90 days, said I was promoting a terrorist organization.
That is insane. You can you do the acronym? Can you put community revolution or what?
I mean, you can do whatever you want to do, but I'm just, you know what I'm saying? I'm just telling you, you know.
Okay. No. I feel you, big bro. No, I'm not trying to fight. I'm not trying to buck back.
Oh, no. I'm saying you can still do it. Yeah, you can do whatever. It just, it's all of it is free choice. If you like, well, you know what? I'm cool. Whoever decide to mess with me, they do. Whoever don't, I'm cool either way. And this is what I want to do. Then that's a choice. Nothing wrong with that.
Right. Yeah, and I think when it comes to a point where the offers and stuff start coming in, I will, because it might be somebody to hit me up, be like, hey, I mess with you, but you gonna have to do something different with the name. And when it comes to that point, I think, I'll get there. But like right now, I know I ain't doing nothing that's detrimental.
Oh, good.
You know what I'm saying? And then I got brothers like you and Big Ben. It's love. What happened? What it say? Red. Oh yeah, Red Pill Co. Yeah, that's hard. I like that. I do like that. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, no. We're gonna get it in. But man, Big Court, anything you want to tell anybody who we got next? Did you ever expose who the guy that was sitting this way on the couch? Because you be doing that shit. He be
say it again.
Like, who you think this? Now when you take those pictures and you be like, who's gonna be the next guest?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Did you already drop it? Yeah, you just said it.
Yeah. So that's Rashad McCants. Rashad McCants. It came out today. The first former NBA player. He's a friend of mine, homeboy of mine. It dropped today. He already set the shit on fire because he called Patrick Beverly a little boy, said he can't see him. He came with all the smoke. Actually, Matt Barnes hit me before I got on live and he was telling me some stuff, laughing about it. But so I have Rashad McCants dropping. After him, probably next week, later part of next week, I'm gonna be dropping my first. I have my first A-list white Hollywood actress. You know what I'm saying? So,
did you? Y'all done already shot it, so
yeah, I'm gonna drop hers next week. But other than that, this year, man, like I said, I got my new TV network, Nibby TV. I got that dropping this year, so I'm excited about that. Tubi is making some changes. There are going to be a lot of displaced content creators and producers and movie makers. So you want to create a good business, find a solution to a problem. So we'll be there for all to support, the content. So Nibby TV, we have that coming, and also got 2 movies that'll be dropping. One I'm a producer on called Block Trilogies, Dark Days, Dark Nights, with Paula Jai Parker, Glenn Plummer, Denise Boutte, Marcus Polk. That'll be dropping. And then also a movie that I co-starred in with Jasmine Lewis and Travis Cure called A Little Piece of Heaven. It'll be out on WeTV, I think top of second quarter. So yeah.
Oh, okay. Hey, everybody in my little community, we gonna get big one day, but to this day, I need y'all to make sure y'all go subscribe, man. It all counts. It all helps.
That's right.
Go subscribe to Big Court Podcast. Support everything he doing. Support everything we doing. You know what I'm saying? Big bro, anytime you in town, you already know.
For sure, I'll pull up.
I know you're not reaching for nowhere to go, but if you just want to pull up on me, you know what I'm saying?
It's all love, bro. Every time I come in town, I try to stop and show love and pull up. I've been there before. You at One Voice?
No. I ain't at One Voice. I'm over
okay.
Get It Off. That's family too, though. But yeah.
Okay.
But we at BLE and Get It Off Your Chest podcast.
Where's that at? Is that where Everybody Loves Ross?
Yeah. Yep. That's BLE.
I've been there too.
Yeah. And then where we at now, this is Get It Off Your Chest. So.
Okay. All good. All good. Well, yeah, man, next time I'm in town, man, I pull up. I appreciate you, dog. And listen, y'all big already. The world just got to catch up with y'all. You know what I'm saying? So keep doing your thing. And, it's all love, bro.
Absolutely. That's that love, man. Thank you so much, man. Everybody, y'all give it up to my big bro. Everybody in the studio is hype. You know what I'm saying?
I appreciate that. Everybody watching, man, y'all subscribe to the Holding Court podcast on YouTube, available on all streaming platforms, Revolt TV. So, we had everybody from Master P to Jay Prince to Bone Thugs and Harmony, Michael Jai White, Glenn Plummer. I done had everybody, you know what I mean? Right. So y'all go check it out.
I am the lowest tier guest he's ever had, and I'm the shit.
Oh, good. That's right. All right, man. I appreciate you, bro.
All right, always, man. Thank you, man. Love, happy holiday, and talk to you in a minute, bro.
Yes, sir.
All right, family.